Oh, that was a amazing shot of my head. Ugh, I'm loving the gray hair. All right, this is me putting down several washes. I'm using several different greens. Sap green, serpentine, olive, a set I got from a lady named Masha, which I have to go look up, but it's a gradient green that's beautiful. Putting down a wash first to start my color base. Trying to make it smooth, but I have this habit of adding too much water and I kind of like it, even though it's totally wrong. If you want it to be flat and even, that's not what I'm doing. I'm adding a little bit of texture appears by dropping in more color. All these hills are going to be green where I drop in lighter colors on top, and I want it to go dark from the bottom and light to the top. I've gotten to the top of the painting now, and I'm really getting excited here because I'm saying really a lot. I need to work on that. I'm excited because the colors just bring me joy. Like when you're driving in Tennessee or you're going into the mountains, if you look at everything in front of you, as you look up on a landscape, everything that's right in front of you is very green. And as you look further away, it kind of goes blue, has a blue hue to it. So I'm playing with that in this, trying to make my further away hills be blue. But I got so excited thinking that the light would come down on that house that it would definitely be warmer. And I needed to bring the blue into the lighter green, which is serpentine. Pretty sure I'm going to add some yellow on the top. Just like, because if it was shining down, the rainbow's up there, there has to be light up on that house. So definitely laying down my first layer, pulling it up, and then applying the lighter color to bleed down into it. And I'm guiding it because I'm a control freak and I like to tell things what to do. But you can see right now how juicy and wet it is. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Now, because I overwork things, because, you know, that's my superpower. Oh, my phone just dinged. It just threw me all the way off. Regardless, I'm working it down. I'm putting it all the way down into that darker color and see how it's bleeding so beautifully. Oh, pitter patter. That is exciting. Damn, I love that. that right there, that color and that negative space I left, I hope I leave it. I need to go look at the final product. I don't know if I did. Regardless, I love that little highlight, adding in some more dark. I want to say that's Prussian mixed with blue. Prussian green. Oh, so jealous of that color. It's gorgeous. Oh, it makes me so happy. That little house. Could you imagine living in that house? It'd be so phenomenal. You'd have no neighbors, no offense neighbors, but y'all suck. And I need to like be alone and have my space. And this is where overworking happens a lot for me. I should be walking away from it. Hindsight's a bitch. Because like watching all my videos, I'm like, oh, should have stopped there. Should have stopped there. But it's okay. I want it to have a look of like the path is being edged into it. So there's like a shadow and some depth to it in this tiny little illustration. I mean, this is not big at all. I think this is like a 9x12 paper. And then I've cut it down even further. Lifting again with my brush, using it as a sponge to lift up the extra color as it dries. This painting makes me very happy. Coming in, bringing in the light green mixed with yellow on the top. And that is already dry, so this is glazing. It's just exciting to me to see this. Bringing it down. I think I just soaked it up. Like I changed my mind. Let's see that. To be inside my head while I'm painting. Only problem is I can't do it because I paint in a room that has really horrible acoustics. And I may or not be screaming at the top of my lungs to a song. Ooh, adding in some more yellow green. Ooh, for the highlights. Gorgeous. Yeah, I am definitely glazing right now. Sometimes it's fun to have the correct terms. Not just making it pretty. Oh, I do love me some green. So the cloud sequence got cut out, and I wanted to give a shout out to the colors I used was Jane's Gray and Payne's Blue. Went along the bottom with a deep color, pretty thick, and then just pulled it up with water, leaving some negative space on top, and then lifting with paper towel just to give it some texture. It was completely, I was kind of over it when I did it, so all I had was a shot of my head. So there was that. Just wanted to let you know how that went down since it was completely missed. And I'm going on and I'm completely glazing out the bottom half and adding back shadows and making it darker, and it's just gorgeous. Oh, there's my incredible head. You're so lucky. As you can see, I've put down the 6 and I have picked up a much smaller brush. I want to say it's a 2 because I'm realizing I'm using too big of a brush when I'm working on these little roads, and it's just not working because I have way too much liquid in my brush for the area I want to even glaze it correctly. So I've lifted over and over again. You can see it right there. And now I've chosen a smaller brush. I can control it better, which is Watercolor 101. That I should have known better. Going in for a very dark layer there. I'm just going to throw a stab in the wind and I'm going to lift it in a minute, but I could be wrong. So I'm lifting it with the brush. When I went off to the side, I have a paper towel there and I'm wiping off my brush with it so it can absorb instead of laying down. Always important to turn your paper to get better angles and to keep up. There it is. Came in with the paper towel lift. Wanted to give it some highlights. And when you're using quality paints and quality paper, you have a bigger range of time that you can lift colors off, where if you're using cheap stuff, it's all bets are off. You can't lift it fast. It's in there. The stain is done. It's done its work. It didn't float, didn't do anything. And I remember the first time I started using Daniel Smith watercolors and Winsor & Newton, and I was like, oh my gosh. It was like finding the secret weapon that I had missing the whole time, because I didn't understand how watercolorists were able to lift their work so much and work it so much after the fact. And it is quality paints. So if you're on the fence about paints, I highly suggest you invest in your paints and your brushes and your papers, because you can know everything, but that's where it all comes in to work together and make something even more spectacular. I've done a lot of I'm not gonna say it right. There's so many versions I've gone through. I should take a picture and post it. But pouring your own watercolors and buying quality ones, you see it immediately. You're like, whew, why have I waited so long? Speeding along now and getting closer to the end. I find this part to be one of the most frustrating parts, because I'm so worried about messing up my lines, because I struggle with clean lines. And I did the red first, stains the hardest, and I'm making sure it's kind of puddly so it has room to move, but not too much room. I want them to mix together on their own, but of course I'll be helping them. I'm a friend. What do friends do? They help each other. I want to say that's Quin Coral, and that is an ochre mixed with an orange. Oh, it's something deep. It's something deep. I don't remember the name, and I should know it because it's something my friends and I always were like, we have to have that color. It's the best orange. I did do yellow in there, which was kind of a mistake because there was no reason to do it. I should have just went yellow into the orange was the logical thing to do, but not me, friend. I'm all about making poor choices. A little bit of Prussian, I think again. I think these are also mixed with a little bit of buff and the green to give it some lightness. And I know I did a teal at the end because I'm looking at it. I did a Prussian green with the teal, and on the actual one you can see the orange into the yellow, but I did do Quin red or Quin coral red, and then the orange, and then the yellow, and the yellow into the green, and then the blue, which I can't for the life of me think of what blue that is. I want to say it has some mine in it mixed with teals and a cobalt, because that's what it feels like. It feels very cobaltish. And it wasn't perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the thing. One of the challenges I've had recording is I'm trying to use these things as a way to make me better and to see what I'm doing and share what I know. But I see how many things I am conscious about, and one of them is my line work. And it's a messy, and sometimes when it's messy, I just go full force into the messy and embrace it and make it more messy. Then it's intentional. Don't you know the secret? But this rainbow, it makes me incredibly happy. I'm loving it. And I hope you do too. Now is the time where we are going super opaque with our paint to create patterns of grass and shapes and add dimension and just interest to these rolling hills. Oh, I am loving that green. In my head, I think I Googled and I was thinking about all the different combinations of ways of grass I could do. And I did leaves and just little lines, anything. But the point is to remove the white and make sure that it's not transparent as much and it's very opaque, which is going quite well. I am back at a 6 brush. It's a bigger brush. I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's a 6. Going straight into circles now. Just really want it to stand out and show the separation. It makes me incredibly happy. This entire process from beginning to end was about 4.5 hours of painting, and I have condensed it almost down. I think I'll be right around 35 minutes when it's all done. Painting is a very slow, meditative process, and it's something that you really have to just let yourself be in and walk away a lot. There are so many times I had to walk away and let things dry. I had to walk away and let things dry, or go change the laundry or do something. Now I'm adding what looks like grass back to a size 2 brush. It reminds me of the stubble on someone's face when they haven't shaved on that one hill. It's kind of interesting, or like a really aggressive cactus that's coming for you. I would not want to be on that hill. They feel spiky, but I still want to live there. Ooh. I'm loving the little sea stuff happening. Really soon here, I'm going to crack open a can of opaque white paint that I have and start adding in more whites to bring back detail that I didn't leave the space for before. So you're subtracting white in watercolor, and sometimes you subtract too much and you want to bring back a really bright highlight. And there's absolutely nothing that says you can't in this world. And you can see right there, I've already started it, and I did all of those circles on the waves. Something tells me, yes, I do keep those. Good. Number 2 brush, going in and just adding interest with white. I like to keep it super thick on the brush so that I'm dropping it down. It will leave a raise to it. And as I go along, sometimes if it's too much with this opaque, it's almost a marker color. It will, you can lift it pretty much for the first 5 minutes. If you get it wet, you can spread it and just kind of like even it out if you didn't like it. So there is a do-over. There is a go back button. Go back on this journey of painting with me, adding the whites. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the painting. And I'm just loving these little houses on the rolling hills. this point where I don't feel there's enough punch in the rainbow, so I'm coming back to glaze it one more time with the colors and really just emphasize it because it wasn't standing out enough to me. I have added some white to it. I come back in a bit and add some more highlights back into it with the Copic white. It just needed some oomph. It wasn't bright enough. So just layering it all up again. QuinGold is the color I couldn't think of earlier. QuinGold Deep is what I used for the orange, and should have just gone with that instead of using yellow, but you can see it in there. Going back in, and that is pretty much the end of everything I did to add color back in. It's just a process of layering and layering and layering and layering until you feel like it pops the way you want it. Oh, the juicy color right there. It's phenomenal. Just makes me so happy. Oh, I love how the sheen is. It's just gorgeous. And letting it dry naturally is good too, because I love seeing it like that. You can actually see it drying as we go. It's amazing. Adding tons of more white, opaque white at the bottom, giving more details, and I'm about to finish this project up. Thanks for coming on my journey.